Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing 1156. It's been a week since the chapters come out, so if you guys haven't read it, I'm sorry, you can skip this video and go to the next one, because I am dying to talk about this chapter. This chapter is, I'm loving the arc that we're going on right now, because it's exploring a lot of history of the world, and One Piece being a world where the history is uh, so abundant, it is definitely a world where the history is something that most of the readers are dying for. So I'm really loving the arc that we're going into and seeing all these characters that we've come across, some characters whose names we don't know. They're basically coming up right now. So yeah, let's start diving into the chapter. So we're introduced at first with the Kuja pirates. Now the Kuja pirates, pretty good. We're met with three of the empresses, the previous empresses of the Kuja pirates. Gloriosa, who we've seen. Um, Shaki, who also we've seen. And Tritoma. Tritoma is the one empress that we've not had a face to, I think. Um, as far as I remember, you guys can correct me down in the comments below. Tritoma is one empress we don't have a face to. Um, so glad to put a face to it. But we kind of see that the Kuja pirates, even before Bohanko, all their empresses were treated like goddesses, and basically they basically had they were idols basically in the One Piece world. Um, and forgive me for saying this, the way they kind of portrayed the men uh, giving all the treasures or like not buying back, it seemed like the Kuja parent empresses kind of turned them into stone, which, if I'm not mistaken, should be the power just of the Merry to me. But the way they were drawn, it was kind of like they turned to stone. So is it just the ability of the Kuja empresses to turn people into stone? Because that's basically what was happening. Like there's probably the anime will take a different route, obviously, but it just seems like that's where they were headed. Uh, and okay, so in the Kuja parts, we kind of also see that their posters sold for money, kind of like uh, idol posters. And it goes to show, One Piece Girl World also has Gooners. So yeah, I'm guessing that's the case. Um, moving forward, we kind of see Shaki, honestly, the best Empress in in the Kuja Pirates. Definitely the top one amongst all the three that we were introduced to. And she basically kind of like is sought after sought after by so many different people. Like freaking Roger is after her. Uh and she badass, man. She's just like one badass woman. Um Pretty cool. And we kind of see a good um relationship between her and Rayleigh. Rayleigh's the only one who's not after her, and he thinks of everybody else just as idiots to run after her, which is fair. Like, come on, man, you don't want to like you're a pirate group and you're just going to just give everything to another pirate group just because you like this one girl in that pirate group. But we do see some flirting between Rayleigh and Shaki. Good thing. I always assumed Shaki and Rayleigh were just going to be. I always wanted there to be a relationship between them, but I always assumed that they might be platonic or just be friends. But love the fact that Shaki's made it very clear that she's interested in Rayleigh. Rayleigh, I don't know. He seems kind of like the good boy types who don't really jump into that very too easily. But I'm pretty sure they're old. They're they've been together for a while. I mean, at that point, you just should be okay. Like you should, if you really have feelings for her, then you should definitely go forward and just get it done. Because Why else are you together? Why else are you sitting together? You know this person is clear for the feelings for you. She's indicated that. Why are you together otherwise? That's just leading on to the highest level, right? You're just an asshole at that point. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Moving on from the Kuja pirates, we are now talking about. Look, guys, 1 second. There. Right. Moving on from the Kuja pirates, we are at this one at the end of the panel over there. So we kind of see kind of like a sort of like a similarity between Luffy and Roger. Luffy basically is so the way they portray Roger fighting Garp at the end is very similar to what how they portray Luffy during fights. Kind of a bit goofy, especially when like Garp is punching him. Um, and it's a really good contrast, good comparison to make something that we expect. It almost feels like we're looking at a future version of Luffy. So that's beautiful to see. Um, so moving on from this, we're moving to Albath. And over here, there are two things that I was kind of right about in my previous videos. So, starting with the first one, let's talk about Harudin and Ida. Sorry, uh, Loki and Ida. So, Loki and Ida, I called it Loki and Ida are an amazing duo. I I said this in a previous video. I didn't know Ida seemed like the only giant other than Harold who really cared for Loki, and I am so glad that that premonition was true. Um, at that time, I wasn't sure about whether she was going to go into like she just understands where he is, but she's going to be passive, or she's going to be active in helping Loki have a mother figure in his life. I am glad it is the latter because Loki really deserves a mother figure in his life. He has a wonderful father figure. Harold is a beautiful father figure, but having a mother figure, sorry about that, having a mother figure like Ida is beautiful. We kind of see that Loki is kind of like pushback on Ida's feelings for him, and he basically doesn't. I'm pretty sure he just doesn't trust anybody given his experiences with his own mother. So he kind of thinks that Ida might be just trying to uh, cozy her way into it. But we know that Ida has seen both the cruelty and kindness in the world, and she chooses to be kind mostly. But and I think she kind of sees through Loki's trauma and is still willing to extend her hand despite the backlash. And it's wonderful to see. It's great to see Loki having a good father figure. Harold, amazing father figure. Um, Ida, amazing mother figure. Um, so, speaking about things that I'm also right about, I was also right about Loki's allegiance last time. So Loki does have a fixation with Zebek. He really does want to join Zebek's crew, but for Loki, I think it's more on the lines of acceptance. So I think the appeal of becoming king of the world um, for him is that he would finally be accepted. He wouldn't be an outcast. He wouldn't be looked like mistake. He would be the person who people look to be. He would not be the reject. He would be the image of acceptance instead of the image of rejection. That's basically the idea that Loki wants from Zebek's dream. And he finds a place with Zebek because he thinks that everyone in Zebek, he sees that everyone in Zebek's crew is sort of an outcast. I don't know if he sees that, but maybe it's more on the lines of he thinks that Zebek himself is an outcast, and him trying to be the king of the world is what's going to lead him to be accepted as well. So yeah, that's basically Loki, and I was kind of right about that. I'm pretty happy about that. One thing about these videos that I do, it's great to actually have a kind of like a repository of information where I said something and something's happened, and I'm like, oh, dude, it's so nice to have that, you know. Uh, so yeah, if you guys have anything, just leave it down in the comments. I'll definitely check it out. And if I miss anything, definitely let me know in future videos as well, because I do read all the comments. But life happens and I do forget sometimes. Most of my comments I do react to, especially because the channel is a little small right now. If the channel grows a little bit bigger, it might become harder for me to do that, but I will still at least read every single one of the comments. It's just a fun way to engage with the community. I always like doing it. But yeah, uh, well, we're gonna just cycle past that and move on. All right, so we finally get to the Pirate Island. Pirate Island, we see some good heavy hitters being introduced. We see Kyo being introduced rather than not everybody. Um, Kyo being introduced is an interesting thing because it's finally putting another name to the face. I'm loving this arc that we're doing where we're putting names to faces. Last time we did Captain John and a couple of others. I forgot them. They're not that big of a piece yet. I think Captain John might become a bigger piece later on because he's connected to Buggy's story. But anyway, we come to Pirate Island, but they basically don't call it that. They say that there's a fish mountain up there. So the skull that we see in Blackbeard's Island later, sorry, Zebek's Island, and then later Blackbeard's Island, was actually a fish. Weirdly enough, I have never seen a fish like that in um, One Piece. It maybe it's me reading a little too far into it, but it feels like why a fish? Why would you say fish? What fish have you seen? You've seen so many things. Why would you call it a fish? And it could lead to something new, or it could be a nothing burger. But you choose your island, your base of operations, due to a reason. So why convert it, why choose a fish and why choose to blow holes in it? Like I get the getting the view and everything, but why would you terraform an island away from what people used to call the mountain? Basically, it doesn't make sense to me. Again, it could be a nothing burger, but it is definitely something that's gonna stick to the back of my mind. Anyway, so let's talk about Zebek, the main character. Honestly, the main character of this entire chapter. Zebek's personality is a stark contrast from what I had in mind of him when he was first mentioned in the series. When I first heard of him in the series, I pictured him to be like Blackbeard, but he is nothing like that. He has more similarities to Luffy than he does to Blackbeard. Don't get me wrong, there are some elements of his personality that are similar to Blackbeard, but the similarities to Luffy are much closer. Um, okay, so let's talk about their similar Luffy and Zebek's similarities. Zebek cares for his friends like a lot. Like when Kaido said that why can't we just enslave the this one enslave Harold, right? Zebek was genuinely mad. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't talk about my friend like that. And he punched the shit out of Kaido. Deservedly so. And I would agree. That shows like he has some level of charisma that even Whitebeard is attracted to. And that I don't disagree with that. Like given Whitebeard's personality, there is no reason for him not to be attracted to Zebek's personality just because of that. So yeah, that's a beautiful quality to have for Zebek. But on the other hand, I do see that Zebek does treat his crew as utilitarian. So it's more on the lines of like he doesn't really care for who sticks with him. Um, than and who leaves basically. He's in the last panel he literally said that he's like, if you're with me on the day of judgment, you'll have the world. If you're not, then don't care. um that don't care attitude is a stark contrast from Luffy. Remember when Sanji left Luffy and was going to go get married off? He literally handed the resignation in, and Luffy literally still fought for him to stay in the crew. To Luffy, it's crew first, the adventure later. Right? He would do anything for his crew, including give up on the One Piece. Like his crew will not let him do that. Obviously, like none of the Straw Hats will let him do that. But he would give up the One Piece for his crew. That's basically Luffy, right? But Zebek, on the other hand, would not. I do not see a world where Zebek will give up his goal for his crew. And that's where Zebek and Luffy kind of differ. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of excited about seeing this because this is also very different from Blackbeard. But so basically, Zebek's personality and Blackbeard's personality are also very different. But it could be because um, Blackbeard saw his father as a little bit more selfless than he would appreciate to achieve his dreams, and Blackbeard is course correcting into this fully self centered person. But given Zebek's personality, it doesn't seem right that what happened during the God Valley incident would ever take place. So if you look at the way Roger thinks, like what we've seen of Roger so far, and the Zebek's personality right now, there shouldn't be any reason for Roger to actually jump in and fight Zebek alongside Garp. Like Garp could because he's just a Zebek is a pirate and Garp is a navy, but Roger doesn't really need to jump into this unless some outside factors are there. But Roger doesn't really have a should not have a fight against Zebek because their personalities are very similar. He might not be the perfect version of a man that Roger thinks, but he is not far from it. Like Zebek is not far from Roger's ideal. And I don't think Roger would nitpick at that. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a transition in Zebek's personality from now to the end of whenever this arc ends, whenever we see what happened during God Valley and Zebek's eventual death. So we're gonna see a little bit of a change in his personality. Maybe he'll become a little bit more utilitarian. Maybe um he'll make some wrong decisions that will lead him down the wrong path, leading to the God Valley incident. Don't know yet. Would love to find out. But either way, I have been so glad reading the chapters, finding what the world so much more, getting to put faces to names, as well as seeing the previous generation come into being. It's a beautiful experience, and every time One Piece dives into history, it's always a blast to read. Uh, yeah, that's about it. I'm really excited about the next few chapters. Really hope you guys liked and subscribed to the channel. Helps out the channel a little bit. And in further news, Hollow Knight video is coming out soon. It is taking me a little bit longer, and there have been some oopsies, which you will find out in the Hollow Knight video. Um, but the reason it took me this long to make the video is because I tried something really hard, at least for a casual player. Okay, I am a casual Hollow Knight player, okay? I'm not a tryhard. I'm not a speedrunner. I'm a very casual player. I tried something that was really hard for a casual player. So yeah, you'll see it when it comes out. It's pretty good playthrough in general. So I hope you guys liked it. With that being said, I've been Korogami. I'll see you guys in the next one.